Hey, it's Mike again. I'm still on vacation and I'm getting ready to wrap it up in the next couple days. But wanted to get one more video in the place that we're staying at while I had a chance and I had some minutes to myself to just kind of think and meditate this morning. I went out and watched a great sunrise this morning on the beach. Actually put together like a kind of time eclipse video of it and shortened it down so it was like 6 minutes long, but it had the ocean in the background and everything, and I posted that on my Facebook page this morning so everybody could listen to it, even though they weren't down here. Not to rub it in, but to just have people have a relaxed, calm morning when they drink their cup of coffee this morning and wake up. Thought that would be a good way for them to do that. But anyway, it worked for me. And then I was on the beach. One of my buddies sent me a video that he sent to one of our other friends who's going through a really bad divorce situation. So I watched that. It was like 20 minutes or so. And then I also watched a pretty inspirational podcast from Joel Osteen as well this morning. That kind of got me a little motivated, and I said, you know what? I said it's only 7:30, but I'm going to go back to the place, or it's only 7 o'clock. I'm going to go back to the place, have a cup of coffee, maybe 2 cups of coffee, and I think I'm going to go to church this morning, since they offer it daily down here at the beach at 9 o'clock every day. So figured, hey, why not go to church, see what happens, see what the message is, and see what else kind of starts my day on the right path here. And then on the way home from church, and just scrolling through at stoplights, just Facebook and stuff, and popped on this reel about people's callings to God, and how do you know what your calling is? How do you know when your calling is, or what you're supposed to do? For those who don't know what a calling is, it's something that is it's kind of like something special that God asked you to do for Him while you're here. Typically, it involves helping other people through some way. Could be anything, but the sooner you find out your calling, which is really your reason for being here on earth, the better your life will actually be. So the way you can do that is through prayer and meditation and talking to God, religiously, on your own, in the comfort of your own home. Just, pray, just get on your knees and say a couple prayers and talk to God and pray to God and establish that open communication that you can establish, and, get things going and moving in the right direction, and then ask Him, what's my calling? Show me some signs, or show me what I should be doing. And you never know. The weirdest things happen, and God works in mysterious ways. He doesn't just tell you your calling like straight out. Here's what you're supposed to do. This is what your main job is, or whatever. Like, He doesn't tell the people that play. I always use the professional athletes as examples because they're easy. He doesn't just say, "Oh, go play professional football." Like, that's what your job is. Their job might not actually be to play professional football. It might be to inspire thousands or hundreds of thousands of people to do something specific in a certain sports way, or giving back to the community way. A lot of those guys are big into that kind of stuff. So it might be that. My particular calling that I felt, that I was called to, which I feel all good Christians are called to do, is to bring people to to Jesus. So, however that is, my calling, I felt, was to bring, as many people to Jesus as I possibly could, which is why I said, okay, well, if I'm going to do that, how can I do that? What can I do to be able to get, as many possible people, especially the non-believers and people who don't believe in Jesus, to say, you know what, maybe I'll try this Jesus thing out. What can I do? God does his own thing. God has his own plans, and God does his own thing with using other people, with his big, magnificent plans to try to bring people to God and to Jesus and the Holy Spirit. And if you don't believe me, you don't believe me, look at the assassination attempt that was made on our former president Donald Trump. That attempt was 1 millimeter away from killing him. 1 millimeter. And he even admitted himself in several different quotes on his own tweets, on his own press releases, and even in his speech during the Republican National Convention, that God himself was the only reason why Trump made it through that assassination attempt. He said it. He said it himself. And that right there is enough to maybe wake up some people to say, wow, was that true? Did that really happen? Was that really God? And maybe he reaches people who are his own supporters. Maybe he reaches people who are Democrats. Maybe he reaches people who are independents. And it's not about getting votes. It's about getting them to realize that there's a God. Getting them to believe that there's a God. Maybe that's what his purpose is too. Maybe that's what his calling is too. It's not just to be president of the United States, because to him, that doesn't mean anything. Okay? He doesn't even take the salary for the job. He just does the job. But what if he's actually working on his calling, which is to bring people to Christ? Just like me. What if it's the same calling? Because people have the same calling sometimes. What about that? Wouldn't that be crazy? But look how he's doing it. Look how he's trying to unite all the different nations and get them together. And he's trying to speak to all these different people. And now, all of a sudden, something like this happens, and he is actually talking about God a lot. If you watch him lately, he's talking about it a lot. So anyway, back to mine. So I thought, if I'm going to bring as many people to Christ as possible, my calling would be to start a podcast. Because a podcast can go viral on one post. You can take one post and it could go crazy. Next thing you know, you got 2 million people on one post that saw the post, and somebody on out of that 2 million says, whoa, what did I just watch? What did I just watch? This guy's got some good ideas. We got to talk to him. We got to do some business with him. We got to come up with a plan on how we can take this concept and make it even bigger, because we believe in God too, and we believe it's our job to give back too, and we believe that it's our job to create as many believers as possible, because if we have as many believers as possible, guess what we have? Guess what we have? We have love. And love is what gets rid of evil. And that's what the problem is, at least in the United States. It's evil. It's greed. It's all the 7 deadly sins. This is what all these people are just infatuated with. The corporate greed that needs to be dealt with. So many Americans are losing their lives because people are greedy. So many Americans could be saved but they'd rather drag out their medical procedures and put them on medications and string them out on that. So who makes money? The pharmaceutical companies. So they make money. You know? And I'm not going to get started on do they have a cure for cancer, because I know they do somewhere. They know everything else. They got to know what the cure is for cancer. But they never want to cure it because there's too much money in the treatment. These are the problems that we have. But these are the problems that can be fixed when you have people believe in God. So anyway, back to mine. So I came up with this idea. I said, all right, well, if I'm going to reach as many people as possible, I'm going to do this podcast. And this podcast is then going to go out and reach as many people as possible with the hopes that somebody clicks on it and somebody says, here you go. Now, in the meantime, I didn't stop there. Okay? Because I don't know if that's what my calling is to do this podcast. And I want to tell my own story, but right now it's still not the right time yet, because I just don't feel it yet that it's right time for me to tell my own story. But I have a very powerful story on how I even became involved with God in the first place. See, because you don't just wake up one day and believe in God. It just doesn't work like that most of the time. Unless you went through some kind of traumatic experience. And let me tell you, what I went through was a Hollywood blockbuster moment. And that's why I believe. But I'm also doing some other things now where I'm reaching out. I'm reaching out through a Bible group that I'm part of, a men's study Bible group that I'm part of. I talk to the men in there. We interact together. We go over some different Bible verses, what they mean, and we try to help each other grow and learn through our own experiences and relate to the Bible as it is today, in today's word, in today's world, and relate to everything. I go to, even though I don't have a substance abuse problem, I go to a recovery group through my church that they meet. It's not just a 12-step program. It's kind of a 12-step program based on the concept of Jesus Christ. So, I'm there to try to help people who may be struggling with something, whether it be substance abuse or mental health disorders or some kind of pornography addiction or something like that, to try to help them believe, if they don't already, that there is a Jesus and that there is a Holy Spirit and that there is the Father that they can talk to and that can help them get through their problems. Again, that's another way for me to try to reach out and get more people back to Jesus and back to God. That's my calling. That's what it is. Then I keep going. So I keep going with that. In the meantime, I'm still living my life. In the meantime, I'm still working. In the meantime, things are happening. And for those of you that don't know, I am a real estate agent. So, the market does go crazy sometimes. It's crazy high ups and crazy high lows and crazy in betweens. And every deal is crazy. Every deal is crazy. And any agents out there can relate, because any agents who've closed the deal can relate, because every deal is crazy at some point. You just got to be looking for it and be ready for it and be ready to put the fire out. And the most successful agents see the fire before it starts and get it put out, and nobody knows, not even their clients. And then everybody looks happy. Everybody looks like it was nice and smooth, and everybody comes out smelling like roses. But there's another thing that happened. So I'm scrolling through my Facebook feed, and up pops an ad. Up pops an ad for a company that has, and get this, and this comes out of nowhere. It pops up and says, we need volunteers for 2 to 4 hours per week. Now that's nothing. 2 to 4 hours a week. That's probably how long it takes you to take a shower every single day. If you add it up over 7 days, that's probably how long it would take. 2 to 4 hours of a spiritual coach for people who would be visiting websites that they run ads on, that they have some kind of problem that they're dealing with, whether it be substance abuse, mental health, or just relationship problem or whatever, and they're not so sure about Jesus or God and how everything works. And they will pair you up as the spiritual coach with the person that has the question or the inquiry, and that's what your work would be for 2 to 4 hours. And I'm like, well, this is exactly what I was looking for. This is exactly what I was looking for. But look where it is. It showed up on Facebook. See, God doesn't give you your whole calling and spell it out for you and say, this is what you need to do. It's not that. It comes in bits and pieces. And for me, the bits and pieces were start the podcast. Go to Bible group, men's study Bible group, because I don't know the Bible and I need to learn it more. And I actually was part of 2 Bible groups, but one of them is kind of on break right now through the summertime. So once they start back up, I'll be part of the 2 Bible groups again. Then I had the recovery group that I started going to because the other Bible groups stopped. And then I also do have church on Sundays that I go to as well. That I do that too. So I have all that, and now, but how do you have time for all that, Mike? How do you have time for all that with and still having to work and still being able to go to your kids, sports games, and still being able to go to the beach for a week and a half with your family for vacation, how can you do that? You can't be selling any real estate. You don't have any time to do any of that. Yes, I do. Because here's the thing. The deals that are coming in now that I started doing God's work or helping God, are big. They're not the $150,000 deals. They're the $500,000 deals. And they come out of nowhere. Some are referrals. Some are just from random people that just pick up the phone and call me. Out of nowhere. And they call at the exact right time when I'm not busy and I have 15 or 20 minutes to pick up the phone and talk to them on the phone. And I build the relationship with them on the phone, and I know that we're locked in solid because I know who sent me the referral. I don't need to send a thank you card to my client that sent me the referral because my client didn't send me the referral. Who sent me the referral? God sent me the referral. You ever think about it like that? God sent me the referral through my client, and then they forwarded it to me. $600,000 deal as soon as I get home. Probably go on the market. I don't know. The guy, he doesn't really live in the house anyway, so it's probably immaculate. It's probably an easy layup listing, like most of the deals are that come in. Because now that I've been helping God, He's helping me. And this is after I struggled for a little while. Like a lot of agents have right now. They've been struggling. The deals aren't coming in as much. They got buyers. They take them out to look at a house, and they got 35 offers for the house. I wrapped up a couple buyer deals so far. You know how many offers we competed with? 0. Was that convenient? Actually, that's not true. We did compete with one, but they way overbid the house and we weren't going to do it. So those people are still looking. But the ones that I closed, we competed with 0. That's pretty incredible considering the market today. And it's all because of what? It's all because of God. He's the one that's looking out. So I I hate to say it, but if you were looking to sell your house or you're looking to buy a house, who you want to call? You want to call an agent that's connected to God? Who's got the ace up his sleeve? Who can maybe help the transaction a little bit? I don't know. I might. Especially if the market changes and it gets tough. And you need everything you can have at your disposal. But that's just me. So I know we got a little off topic, but I don't think we did. Because everything ties together. And that's how life is. And that's how life works. Everything ties together. Just like God intended it to. That's the beautiful part of life. And that's what most people haven't figured out yet. Because it all ties back to the source, which is Him. Everything you have. Everything. Your family. Your life. Your cars, your house, your money, your clothes, your friends. All that is through the man upstairs. All of it. So don't just talk to him when times are bad. Talk to him when times are good. That's when you can focus on your relationship. That's when you can focus on your calling. That's when you can focus on the stuff that Tony Robbins sells, that self-improvement stuff. You can focus on that with God. Not to say Tony Robbins is bad, because I love Tony Robbins. I met him. Guy's a beast. Shook his hand. I don't know what I paid for that, like $1,500. But it was worth it, because I felt that power in me when I was in one of his seminars, and it was a powerful thing. And you ever been there? You ever been or seen one of these other coaches, success guys? They will fire you up. They will fire you up and give you that feeling. But let me tell you, you know what fires you up like 10 times more than that? Is when you get the Holy Spirit inside of you. You get the Holy Spirit inside of you, and then you're connected to the man upstairs even more. And then you don't need to see a guy like Tony Robbins, because you just talk to the man upstairs, and he gives you the self-improvement. He gives you the direction. Now, he may tell you go see Tony Robbins. You never know. Because Tony's doing his own thing. He's got his own calling that he's doing. And he does a great job. And so do a lot of the other coaches. I'm just picking on Tony because he's the first one that came to my mind, because I've been to one of his seminars. But this is the time. It's now. When you have your downtime. Instead of twiddling through your phone and playing online poker or playing some stupid game and just being distracted by something dumb, talk to God. Now's the time. You know? Alright. It's enough for today. It's time to head down to the beach. Go soak in some sun for the next couple days and get a little tan going. I forgot my razor, so I can't shave for the next couple days, but it is what it is. Alright, well, hopefully some of y'all learned something from this. I know it was pretty long, but I try to make them impactful and make them so you can learn something from it. So hopefully you did. Have a great day. Take care of yourself. And God bless you.